Hi, welcome to today's English class. Before getting into the class, I first of all would like to wish you a happy new year. May this year give you the knowledge in abundance. Come on, let's get into the today's English class. And this is the first class of mine in the year 2021. And today I have a story. It's the chapter 14 in our English textbook and the title of the story is really interesting. The title here is An Uncomfortable Bird. Really a twisting title. It's really a different title, An Uncomfortable Bird. That's what we are going to discuss in today's English class. And this story particularly is written by the author, a French writer, Maupassant. And this one is a narrative story. Yes, the author had narrated an incident which had happened in his life. That's what we are going to see today. You know what? This French writer, Maupassant, has written a sum of 300 stories. And this story too has a surprising ending. And it's going to be an interesting story today. I told you it's a narrative story and here I'm going to play the role of the narrator. So wherever there is an I, it represents the narrator. Let's start the story. One autumn, I went to stay with my friends for the hunting season in Chateau. Chateau in Picardy. Chateau, which means castle. Yes, it was a big house. I went to stay with my friends in Picardy. And it was a castle. Chateau. And you know what? My friends were fond of practical jokes. What are those practical jokes? Practical jokes is nothing but making fun of a person. Just by pulling out the chair or making them slip onto the ground or making them feel ashamed in front of others. Those jokes were called as practical jokes. And my friends were fond of it. All of my friends were fond of making practical jokes. Have you ever been a victim of a practical joke? Here in this story, the author, he became the victim of the practical joke. And we are going to see whether he escaped from it or he got into it. That's what we are going to see here. When I arrived, they gave me a princely reception which at once aroused distrust in my breast. They welcomed me like a prince and that aroused me that something is waiting for me. I thought they are going to make fun of me because they gave me a princely reception. Everyone gathered here and welcomed me like a prince. And that aroused my distrust. I said to myself, look hold for it, they are going to make fun of you. You should be really more careful today, or else you will be the victim of that practical joke. I said to myself in my mind that I don't want to be a victim of the practical joke. And it all goes well. It was during the dinner time. We all sat together and had our dinner. There was a great amusement in the dinner. Everyone of my friends, they laughed aloud. The fun was really excessive. I thought in my mind, come on, look here. Here are the people, they are going to make fun of you. If you don't want to be a victim, you should be aware of everything. So I just looked at everything. I listened to each and every single word of them and every single gesture of them because I don't want to be a victim of that practical joke. I thought a practical joke in the air as a dog smells game. I just looking at each and every person in the dinner time and I looked at their speech and I looked at their gesture because I don't want to be a victim of that practical joke. I don't want myself to be a victim of it. And to me, everyone in the dinner looked as suspects. Not only at my friends, even the faces of servants were looking like suspects. I looked at each and every one of them very carefully. I looked at their gestures, I looked at the words, nothing escaped from me. I just want to make sure that I am not a victim of it. And we had a great dinner at that time. It was the time to go to the bed. The hour rang and it was our time to go to the bed. And there they all came to escort me. The whole household, including the servants as well as my friends, they all came to escort me to my room. They came to my room and said good night. It was suspicious and it made me to think more. I entered my apartment and closed the door and standing still. I did not move. I had a single wax candle in my hand. And I was looking at each and every object inside the apartment. I was thinking about it. If my candle goes off, it will be really dark and I'll be left in darkness. So I don't want to be left myself in darkness. I took short steps and reached the mantelpiece. And there I lighted all the candles in the mantelpiece. And it was so bright. I could look at each and everything inside my apartment. I searched each and every single object inside that apartment and looking into it, whether they have had something inside for me. I looked at the walls as well as ceiling and the floor. Nothing was there. Everything looked normal. But still, I got something running inside my mind that they are going to make fun of me and I am not going to be a victim of it. I checked every single object inside the apartment and the window was open. I went near the window and the shutter, it was large shutters, it was open. I closed it with great care and softly I closed the windows and then I took the curtains out. And even after closing the curtains, I had some doubt. So I placed a chair in front of it because I don't want to be a victim of it. And now I went near a chair and I cautiously sat down on the solid armchair and I was looking at it, looking at my apartment. The time went by and finally I came to a conclusion. I ended by coming to the conclusion that I was ridiculous. I was the only one thinking bad of my friends. They wouldn't make fun of me. So I came to the conclusion that I was ridiculous, not them. If they were really going to make fun of me, they could have done it in the dinner time. They could have laughed at me enormously at my face, which was in terror. But they didn't. So finally, I came to a conclusion. There is nothing inside it. Now it's the time for go to bed. I reached near the bedstead and I was standing near the bedstead. What happened next? Is something waiting for me on the bed? Have they done anything on the legs of the bed? Did I become the victim of their practical jokes? What happened next? That's what we are going to discuss in the next class. That's the end of today's class. Thank you for watching this video.